I am a spy. Oh no! I am a naked spy.
Chuck's a TV show for people who love TV. I mean, it's at its heart, you know, it's got so much in it. It's such a hybrid show.
Because we're so multi-genre, because we have comedy and action and drama and romance and mystery and all that, it really allows us to do a lot of things and get away with a lot of things. It's already a very unique show in that regard.
Bueno.
It's a classic underdog story, that Chuck is, in a lot of ways, the best realized version of a geek.
$100. Gonna break out the old plastic.
I can expense this, right?
Everyone wants to see themselves through Chuck, which is, I think, what the appeal of the show always has been, is, what if this happened to me?
Think about that, me, a real spy.
You know, it's sort of the everyman, you know, he's just a normal dude, and it's fun. And if I was, and I am a geek, and if I was sitting there watching, like, oh, cool, man, I like this guy, you know, this is one of us, you know, getting to kick butt and get a really super hot girlfriend, and, yeah, it's great.
One word and you're dead.
Now this is brazen.
Those 4 words.
The great thing about a television series is there's so much invention and evolution that happens in the process. We knew in the pilot we had this great cast. We knew we had this dynamic of, you know, Clark Kent on one hand.
Is this stuff sterile?
And then he's trying to be Superman on the other.
I take pride in my work, all right? I want to kill him, not some secondary infection.
Living this double life and being a spy, the wish fulfillment of that. We knew we had a lot of these elements, the romance and his home life and the workplace and all of that. But, you know, as a show begins to unfold, you start to see what's really working for the show, what your strengths are, what the production requirements are.
I'm in a little bit of a pickle right now.
Act like your little girlish self. Scream like a banshee so he doesn't think you're a threat.
For 3 seasons, we've had the most wonderful writer's room imaginable. It's a great collection of lunatics. And sure, some people only want to talk about Chuck and Sarah. What's the relationship? Other people want to blow stuff up. And then other people want to talk about the bi-morons, the Jeffs and the Lesters and the comedy of it all.
Hey, what's going on?
Charles, please. It's a spy mission. You are not qualified. Get away.
We all are our own intersects. We all have a true devotion to certain areas of not only pop culture. Each one of the writers really knows a lot about a little. And so when we kind of make the meatloaf, it comes out very nicely.
Hello. When I first sort of came on to the show, I really loved the fish out of the water and the spy element. The more sci-fi elements, you know, I know that they're appreciated and they're very entertaining. They just don't speak to me.
I root for character growth to the most passionate degree, and of course that includes love. I've been carrying the love torch for some time. And not only that, I like to also make the men as naked as possible, as much as possible.
Ali Adler always tries to get me shirtless in every episode she writes, and in everybody else's episode. I'm starting to renegotiate to make sure my shirt stays on in at least 9 out of 13 episodes. That's my goal.
Wow, that just really self-destructed, did it not? Done and done.
Season 1, the idea of a guy who was this reluctant anti-hero, almost. And by season 2, we had this notion where the whole season would be designed around boy becomes man. And so by season 3, we designed the whole season around this notion of man becomes spy.
He wants his life to mean something more than just working in an electronics store. He wants to help people.
By the end of season 2, we wanted a dynamic where he kind of wanted this.
Molto bene! I love it! This is fantastic!
As opposed to, get this thing out of my head, get this thing out of my head, he finally had this sort of life-altering decision and moment where he decided, I want this thing.
Let me be a spy! Let me out of the car! I'm ready!
That's gonna leave a mark.
And the idea was to set up a season 3 that would in some way kind of re-energize the show.
The new Intersect, I thought, was a great choice to thrust me into that world, but still have him be incapable of really taking care of himself, only kind of taking care of himself, and still gave him the necessity for his handlers, you know? So because he's got these new powers, a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's cool," but also, no, what's happened to the show that I started watching in the first season, which was very unpowered and, you know, bumbling Chuck. And he still is bumbling Chuck.
Easy, Bartowski.
But he's growing.
The decision to have Chuck learn Kung Fu was something Chris and I talked about doing as early as the end of season 1.
Chuck, what happened?
Something awesome.
But that was always something that we really believed would be a really cool game changer for the show. That would be a great cliffhanger, would drive a lot of excitement about the show, would change up the show, but still allow the show to be Chuck.
That's the amazing thing about Zach. He is a really gifted physical actor.
What can I say? I do have my skill sets.
We have an incredible stunt coordinator, 2-time Emmy award-winning Mary Yonka, and the two of them have really figured out a way to be innovative in the action, to find cool moves, and you know, we always try to find the Chuck version of an action scene.
Okay, now we can talk.
For 2 years, I sat on the sidelines and watched Yvonne and Adam have all the fun, kicking all the bad guy butt. So to be able to be a part of that now is a lot of fun. I embrace the challenge and learning fight choreography and then actually shooting the fights, and it's awesome.
That was incredible. You were like Bruce Lee, Van Damme, Seagal, all rolled up into one.
I've decided that after a lot of skill flashes, Chuck gets a little grin on his face. Because every time he gets a skill flash, I think he's like, all right, I get to do some damage. Like, this will be fun. It's been more physically demanding, I suppose, but I love all that. You know, I'm still reasonably young. I mean, I hope. So it's not, I'm not like, oh God, my back today, I can't really, you know, I mean, it's good.
And, you know, we've asked him to play flamenco guitar and ballroom dancing and, you know, speak Korean. And, you know, do gymnastics. I mean, we've really pushed what we've asked of him, and at every level, he's surpassed our expectations.
He's got the DNA of an action star, but he can play a nerd, which is great for us.
You will work alongside Agent Bartowski to bring down the ring.
This is great. Come on, guys, the three of us. The old gang, back together again.
Because of the fact that this show isn't just bad guy of the week, it's characters that are evolving. And so one of the fundamental ingredients of that is the Chuck-Sarah relationship.
When we first meet Sarah, she's very business.
Was that absolutely necessary?
Yes, and she has trouble sort of expressing herself, and she's not a normal girl. Let's go.
There's some woman, bro. You have no idea.
She meets Chuck. She sees this innocent guy who's never been part of the world that she's been part of, and I think it slowly sort of brings out the real human being in her.
Sarah has opened up and become somewhat accessible.
Now in season 3, we've seen her start to express herself.
Sometimes it helps to know that you've got something to lose.
Well, what's exciting to me about Chuck's kill test, final exam, is like Sarah fell in love with this guy that's just a regular guy. Like, if I got the intersect, I'm sure I could do Kung Fu and scale a wall, but asking me to end a human life is harder.
I don't kill people, okay? I have rules against such things.
And because Sarah fell in love with the person who couldn't end the human life, it's really exciting to watch sort of his struggle with it, and will he or won't he, and he won't, and that's what's cool about our hero.
I can see it in his eyes. He won't kill me.
Okay, fine, that's fair. I probably won't kill you, but I will remove the greater part of your earlobe.
I would like to introduce you all to CIA Special Agent Daniel Shaw. For the last 5 years, he has worked on nothing but taking out the ring.
That's right. I know everything. I'm brought in to Chuck's entourage to help them take down their new nemesis.
Great, welcome to the team.
I think when we brought in Shaw, people thought we were just bringing in someone to kind of keep Chuck and Sarah apart as an obstacle.
Anytime anyone comes between Chuck and Sarah, that's trouble.
It's sort of like all the love triangle possibilities now pumped up a geometrical notch.
Yeah, the love trapezoid. You know, Shaw comes in and he kind of stirs it up, and I think at that point in the series, Sarah has been rejected by Chuck.
I can't.
And so I think she sees something in Shaw that she's attracted to.
You two make a cute couple.
You're one to talk.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing.
All right, ladies. Enough of the chit-chat.
She tries to move on. It's quite a mess we made. But, you know, Chuck and Sarah, that whole thing kind of stays strong.
I love you, Sarah Walker. Always have.
You know, I love all the ups and downs of the relationship. That's really great when we get to sort of get into the meat of that.
And it has to constantly evolve. And if it's, you know, every season it's I love you, but we can't quite get together because of this reason or that reason, eventually that sort of wears thin.
I mean, the tension is so great because that's what everyone loves to watch, is that tension and will they, won't they, will they, won't they. So when they finally get together, it's such a big relief, and it's great for us as actors to be able to go on a journey like that, you know, over the course of 3 seasons. It's almost fulfilling to see these characters evolve and take the leap.
Allowing your private life to interfere with your professional one can be dangerous. But off the record, it's about damn time.
And the original conception of the season, it was only supposed to be 13 episodes. So the final moment was going to be Chuck and Sarah riding off into the sunset together. And then they added 6 more episodes.
With this bonus 6, we got to really explore them being together and sort of the new challenges that kind of spy relationship can face with our everyday struggles, because it's super spies against the world. You know, it's not just super couple.
We make a great team.
John Casey is a man of few words, mostly grunts.
Huh?
Every grunt says 1,000 words.
They mock me, actually. They make fun of me all the time. I don't write it. I just sort of grunt it.
He can do small things that signify a lot for his character.
Casey can be a bit of a regular guy, but he's always got to be Casey. The John Wayne, the Clint Eastwood.
I can be very persuasive.
This season, we've had a lot of fun with the idea of expanding his backstory.
Well, Casey started out as pretty much this mysterious hard guy killer. And over the course of events, he's come to love and enjoy and embrace the relationships with Chuck and with Sarah. Proud of you. As close to normal way as a human could be expected to.
You have to believe I would never hurt you.
No, just forcibly kidnap me.
His experience with learning about his family, it really humanized Casey, and I think he doesn't know how to react to it.
Well, he's got a daughter.
Alex, I'm your father.
Casey's got a daughter. He's got a woman that was his fiance before he went off to war, who he reconnects with, so that's pretty big.
He is so bottled up and so macho and warrior-like that it's fun to see when that cracks.
And I think that's going to really push his character into interesting new dimensions and see how he still retains his John Casey-ness while we begin to flesh out his humanity.
You are joining the world of human beings, so proud of you. Kudos for that.
Do you know? Do you know? On 3, we both say what we know.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Chuck's up! Oh my God, you know.
We take each person into the spy world as it's a huge deal for us, because we know that when we do that, we're changing the dynamic of the show.
I can't talk to my best friend or my sister about anything in my life. I'm not a machine. Okay, I am a machine, but I'm also a person.
Now he's a full-fledged spy, and, you know, people are finding out. Everybody's kind of along for the ride.
The Chuck and Morgan friendship was a big part of the show in the first season, and we felt last year as we expanded the mythology and all that, we got away from that dynamic a little bit.
I'm firing you as my best friend.
And the actors missed it,